So what were you just saying to me?
I was saying in Brood War and Starcraft, you have to be able to press 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, 5A really, really fast.
And what
That's
does
some
that
like
do?
crazy keyboard dexterity things that you don't really have in other games as much.
But what would that do?
Well, in Brood War, you can only control groups of 12 units at a time. So when you get to like the late game, you need to be able to
units over 4 buttons.
yeah, you got to be able to like quickly. And when you press A, it's like an attack move. So you press like one group, and then you actually do it here.
That's why APM was such a thing.
Yeah.
I like how like I've had other like UI like companies hit me up and for like programs and they're like, oh yeah, we can like measure your APM and everything. I was like, I don't care about my APM.
Yeah.
As a CS player, but it's cool.
Yeah, it is. It's so cool watching some of the Koreans who just like actually like playing the piano. It's like it looks like they're like trying to do a Chopin piece or something like that. I don't know. Just
I thought that was the
Beethoven.
most like core game, one of the most core games. Like I remember back in the day when I was like dreaming of like esports being like the biggest stage ever. It was always like Starcraft, Quake, Counter-Strike, and like Street Fighter or something.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
those
yeah.
four
Smells weird.
those 4 games would be like the Olympics or something, you know.
Yeah, I agree completely. That's like the core. That's the history. It's sad actually these days. A lot of people don't even know anything about Starcraft or Quake.
Yeah.
Thankfully, you know, CS has been able to survive in. I think that was an accident, James, in production. But
Anyway.
yeah, I was just saying, like, one of the things that we have to be thankful for, I think, is that CS, despite all the changes it has gone through over the years, it has remained.
I mean, we're
like,
still playing Dust 2 and Mirage, and Mirage was CPL Strike.
But we can go back to that talking point just for some appreciation.
If we could have CPL Strike, why can't we have CPL Mill?
Yeah, man, I love CPL Mill.
I don't know, but JW's going to start things off in a nice, fun manner. Vishu knows there's another guy, yet he peeks into him. Questionable, yet understandable.
That pushes in the meta a lot. We're starting to see that quite often now.
Yeah.
That's underpass push from the CTs.
And just aware. My boys at Fnatic are just aware. Neo trying to bring some more highlights into our life. Been giving us highlights since 05.
Yeah, I love Neo. He's such an awesome dude as well. Nice guy.
Dude, Neo's great. I just thought about how many years he's been pro, and then like probably the average age of some of the newer gamers are probably like how many years he's been pro.
Yeah. Yes.
I saw that I saw that
oh my God.
Yeah, like Broland's, isn't he 15 or 17, Broland?
Oh yeah, someone made a tweet like they started playing before he was born or something.
It's interesting that you have seen conversations about, these players are in their 30s, they should retire soon, because it's based on like football or traditional sports ages, because they have nothing else to compare to. But
are you kidding me? Timo Solani winning the Stanley Cup at 42.
But the point is like, forget about the comparison to sports. The main thing is there's no every day in esports we write history because it's so young. Yeah. So there is no evidence of any age beyond these people, because these are basically the first people.
Yeah, one of the arguments they tended to use about age was like, oh, because your reaction speed slows down. But that's actually, if you actually know anything about playing at the professional level, like the reaction speed, one, it doesn't actually change that much at all, and secondly, it's negligible. Yeah. Like there's so many ways to mitigate it.
Yeah, and the experience of decision making will take you so far if your skills are up to par. And
knowing when something's going to happen or what to expect in a situation.
Look at Forrest.
Well, look at Reinhardt from Street Fighter. He's a dinosaur, and he has faster reactions than probably anybody else in those games. He's insane how fast his reactions are. It's bonkers. It's
Reinhardt,
crazy.
like that comes to the CS events now?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that Reinhardt.
Have you seen him dance?
I've seen him breakdance a few times, yeah.
Can he breakdance?
He did. We were in a club, and he just started spinning on the floor and like sneezing out on us. I was like, okay, Ryan, let me start doing social media. Let's put you up on the big stage. 'Cause he was doing the interviews or something.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway.
I didn't know you could breakdance. That's so sick.
All standard eco around here.
Yeah.
No 1 leagues. Snacks and ready to flay somebody.
Yeah, this could be a problem. No kills at all from VP. They're trying to hold on to their guns a little bit, make something happen here. But did they? So Bioli didn't. Oh, he did buy. No, he didn't buy Kevlar. He did not buy any Kevlar. So they actually have saved some money. Okay, that's cool. Maybe they'll just do Deagles 2 rounds in a row. I do like that sometimes. What do you feel about that, Jordan? Having just Deagles and nothing for 2 rounds, or the Deagles and Kevlar 1 round, and then the full save next round.
On a map like Mirage, I think it can work because of the long distance fights. If you hit those shots of them coming out of Palace and whatnot, and people trying to prod B, but I haven't really messed with that actually. So that's kind of a cool concept. I don't have enough experience doing that.
Smoke top mids. It's always good, even for those of you guys, those of you guys at home who are like, hey, with smokes, right? Still put a smoke top mids. So it's not so obvious. So there's no, you need to show some presence somewhere else on the map so things look relatively normal. If you just like don't have any presence. Yeah. You have no presence anywhere else anymore. People are going to be like, I think they're doing A with smokes.
James, when are we going to get the t-shirt, the bottle t-shirt? There's more to life than A with smokes on the front.
Yeah, that's a good question. I feel like I owe the community some videos.
It's funny, how come only, like, those are like the only nades some people know how to throw. Like, I'll do viewer games, and like on every map, like train, like 2 guys will be like, I don't even know the call-outs on train, but then we go to Mirage and somehow they know all 3 A smokes. I can't get someone to throw like a 5-6 smoke, an E-box smoke. It must have been all the YouTube videos, right? Like people
I actually
tutorials.
have a YouTube video on Mirage smokes that's so far back it's on my FACEIT game channel. It's not even on my CS channel, which has like over 100,000 views or something. But I feel like it's worth making a refresher series of smokes because everyone, you get some comments like I'll upgrade the odd video here or there, which just shows one thing like pop flash from the window by a CT, and people are like, oh, this one, everyone knows this one. It's like, no, you know this one. There are plenty of people who don't know that one, So I feel like we need to go back and show people not just the grenades. It's all good showing like people, especially when a new map comes out, they'll just show like, oh, here's all the grenades you need to know, but they won't show why you need to know them or when you would implement them.
What situation? Yeah.
Which is bad, because it just like making people do random things. Anyway.
That's why I like on streaming, because I can do it on the fly. Like I've always like hated the idea of me just like making like nade videos, but I love answering the questions about them. We should get a Bangers with Bardolph series.
Like
Bangers with Bardolph, nice.
That's a banger.
Where's the match?
Release some bangers in the short position with 2 kills.
Good initiative by Lekro, yeah, to get in the site. Now he's got the forward position. See if the team can get back safely. But Bomb looks like he's going A, and so they're using the forward position of Lekro to say, okay.
Yeah, I like the Molotov as well. That's like a very convincing Molotov to be like, we're trying to stop you from pushing the sides. We can plant.
Go well.
Oh no.
Boy, Flush is so aware.
And
that makes sense, right? Like he didn't go back B right away, so he had to be aware of the underpass push.
Timing.
Pasha heard him,
the Pasha push? That's gonna be nuts.
Pasha heard him. He knows he's there, so he knows it's definitely B. Because I just saw the bomb in apps, and then the last guy run in. They know one person's on site, so that's all the information you need. This is so awkward. They do have the site, however, but Flusher needs to push. There are 35 seconds left. Flusher's probably thinking he can't run to the site because there's such a long angle for the CTs to hold. He's only got 10 HP, but what choice does he have? Not much choice. Lekro has a flash. No, Flusher has a flashback, actually. But he's relying on Lekro to do everything. And now it goes from bad to worse, and Flusher hopes that maybe they think that he's rotated towards A, but Virtus.pro do not believe that. 16 seconds remain, and Pasha almost landing a headshot Flusher, but it will be shut down. Unlucky for Fnatic in terms of timing, but great for Virtus.pro.
They played it really well.
And honestly, I wouldn't say it's that great. They died with 2 people. If they lose this round, they're going to be lucky probably to get 5 rounds this half. I think I see Fnatic getting 10 rounds.
But I think it's great in the sense that they looked for the information, they gained the information, and they acted accordingly, like Pasha pushing top mid, hearing the guy in action and so on.
For sure. In that sense, it's definitely great individual awareness. I don't think they're happy with only surviving with 2, but a round win is a round win.
True that. I like how slow VP played it. I mean, that's a kind of that kind of round you just don't see from so many teams, because again, we're talking about it with Sean when he was here, that it's so, like he said, that in Europe it's much more common that you see that the players have enough experience to know the spots when to wait. And when waiting is like superior, and not to like move a few inches forwards into the next position, but just to hold. And you can see VP like doing a really good job just sort of holding and keeping and like really adjusting the tempo perfectly. Fnatic were reacting really well to it too. They slowed things down too.
Interesting smoke allows Mihu to check the underside, and he can jump over it as well. Really nice stuff by Mihu. There was a short push that would be a pain. It's kind of like when the CTs smoke quad on Cash almost. In a similar fashion, but we can do more with it. So Virtus.pro surviving with 4 plays for the time being. Again, question of damage for Flusher.
This is so big. If he can get another kill, it's going to be tough. There's issues on the push there. That would have really made the money situation tough to go to half. Virtus.pro getting the much needed minimum 3 alive round win. I'm trying to talk to more people on my stream about that as well. Just
3 versus 2 people surviving.
yeah, and how
Yeah,
much
it's a big deal.
means each round.
Yeah, it's funny how you see that a lot of the pro teams don't recognize that as well, while they'll have like even the difference between 2 and 1 obviously is actually enormous too, because 2 is 2 guns dropped, and then 1 guy maybe with not a gun, but then just 1 guy, it's like, well, you don't really have, it's not even worth it now to do anything the next round most of the time. But you'll see teams be in a position where they'll have a very unlikely spot. Though I guess we come back to this point, considering that Fnatic, after a bit of an exchange in middle, are in a position, like such a beautiful position. You're 3v3 against the CTs. They're going really, quite quickly actually towards the B bomb side. Sometimes you'll see teams just hold for quite a while and wait for the CTs to spread out quite a lot, which is beginning to happen anyway. Snax is investigating B, but Fnatic are looking to just go contact as far as they can, and Snax is the perfect gun for that. Oh, there's the flashes.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is a great position if he was ready, but with an op, it's so tough in this forward position to deal with those people scaling on you like that. And now it's a 2 versus 1 situation for Fnatic to
It's really hard
to lose.
to find a place on B which you don't get exposed to flashbangs and still have a good angle to hold. Barley walks straight into it, face first, no less.
I think one of the issues there was he didn't know if someone had already gotten to the site. Because if he's confident, he can play one of the back pillars and take an op shot. And then at least you know if you get blind, the timing starts in your head where you're like, all right, how fast can you be out balcony scaling on that corner pillar? Then at least you fall back to market. But since he didn't have that knowledge, he kind of like got moved forward, and in those flashes, he thought maybe they were cat. He should have fell back right away, in my opinion, but, you know, hindsight.
Yeah. It's hard to know. And it goes well for Fnatic, and you know, you mentioned previously how awkward it was for VP on the money, and now they've going for that save. A couple players with Kevlar, and Snax playing the cat smoke. Trying to find a sneaky timing to push through it, and he will find one, I think. Here he goes. That crow is going to go down. Will Snax be able to get the next one? He's going to get spotted out, not actually seemingly unaware that JW was there, and that's a kill for JW. So 4 versus 3, Fnatic in a pretty good spot. That push not going to work out for Neo.
That flash from the CT came as the TP one. That's unlucky.
It's definitely a flash for those of you at home to learn as well. Very simple. I think it's just the rim of the barrel.
It's a little edge. There's a little texture. It's
yeah, the pop flash on top mid to connector.
Ah.
Wedge yourself.
Everyone throws it very easy. Yeah. I mean, it's impossible to flash everything, but if somebody's holding any reasonable angle, any angle towards CAD or anything like that, they'll be flashed off completely. So if you have an AWPer there, somebody like Nothing who likes to be in that position outside connector, you flash Nothing off.
I definitely died to that. I had to start becoming aware because everyone started doing the thing where they would actually go through your connector smoke. So like say Neo were to smoke this right now, which he's about to, once he hears the window smoke come in. So as he throws this, what they do is I would like try to one way over it exactly and then blind like that, and then they come through the smoke. Yep, it was about to happen. It's a meta that you have to be aware of that people are still doing, and I just, yep, and...
Oh!
And it got to the point where when I was playing SK, I always knew Fur was like coming at me in the smoke. So I would go in the smoke and just look at the ground. And then when the flash would come up, I would look up, and if I was good, if I did it right, I would like see his foot or his gun pop through the fringe, and I would be able to tag him and fall.
Oh wow!
That was like perfect sequence of events there.
Especially as I was talking about it, yeah.
That was awesome.
So it's fun to watch him, you know, be in the same kind of mind frame as I was there.
Gotta clip that and put it on the YouTubes. Oh my god, JW. There's surely no way he can make this work. This is insane. 2 players playing very close positions. Oh no! He's gonna see both! This is insane! Gets the second one as well. The bomb's gonna go down. He's got an AWP. They're incredibly far away. Not something that he can know, but he might be able to guess based on their positions. And if he spots out, if he's able to get a good angle onto Mihu, but he's gonna be running all the way with a P250, he's absolutely insane! Oh, that's such a shame.
Sometimes, see right there, he's making a guess that they're rotating together, or maybe they're regrouping, or at the least he's just making a guess that that's open, because what he's doing is he's planting for the ramp, so they'd think, oh, he's either spawn or ramp. So if they come from spawn, they're assuming he's ramp. If they come from connector, they're assuming he's either, but then he would be neither, because he was actually going to wrap around the palace right there and make it so he wasn't in the obvious spot. So Nice try.
Yeah, very, very cool stuff. My goodness. 5 rounds for Fnatic, 3 for Virtus.pro. VP off of the back of that round win. I mean, JW made it so that instead of surviving with 4, they actually survived with 2, so that's a huge amount of damage that he did. And although VP will be able to steal away that AWP, which will help them a little bit, they're still in a really awkward position. Fnatic the same as well, so this might be a 2-for-1. If both teams are indeed quite broke.
Interesting decision here for Fnatic to go for the 3 underpass play. They must have a read because this is very hit or miss for this exact region. If you don't have top mid control at the same time, or at least someone ready to trade, Pasha's going to be able to get one and fall back. But they seem aware that this is a possibility. Hopefully. So they throw in the smoke, so I think they're going to wait for the flash. Let's see how much discipline they have.
Oh.
Wow.
But now Bialy's in trouble, and that's going to call Michu out. He sees 2, maybe 3. Bialy has to stand and fight, but it is to the advantage of Virtus.pro. 1 for 3. They'll be happy with that. Pasha with the off angle looking towards Palace. Nothing there for the time being, but Crims is creeping out of the ramp. Oh, that's a really fast shot onto Neo. How did he get away with that one?
It seemed like his sense just went up right away. He's like, man, I need to kill somebody. Decently well played round by Virtus.pro there to have that mid counter, and Bialy confident standing in mid alone right there. It's one of those things where depending on how they did that late mid control, if they only had 1 underpass and 3 top mid, that could have been pretty dangerous for Bialy. He probably would have went 1-for-1 right there. So a little bit of a risk on both ends there, and now Fnatic's forced to save and go. They're going for kind of a partial buy here at the Eagles.
Neo with some intentions. The Dark Water, the big black cult, as I like to call it. Lekro only requires a Desert Eagle, though, and that is a weapon to be collected, perhaps. He has got to be careful. He's up against multiple opponents, and Lekro's creeping with that Deagle. Gets worse for Virtus.pro. He's got to fall back now, especially with Flusher harassing apps. There could be a potential split in order. However, the bomb's still in T-spawn. Fnatic have got very far very quickly in this round. Bialy creeping for some information in the red now. Oh, the last bullet. But still alive is Crims.
How did Crims do 92 damage to Bialy? Did he headshot him to the corner or something?
Either that or he shot him twice.
I think he hit him twice with a Deagle.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
The 2 Deag.
It really looked like he was going to get the headshot
Doesn't kill
too.
you, always leaves you with less than 10 HP. Really annoying if you're the person with the Deagle.
And JW may be aware of this because of the way he's creeping on the back wall, or may die in a sec to Mishu, but the way he moves lends me to believe JW might actually clear this.
What can Mihu do? He could end the round, or he could potentially open the gates to victory for Fnatic. And it looks like maybe he did enough, actually. He got 1 kill. The problem is JW with the AWP.
Yep.
That is a really big problem now. Ooh, Crimson will go down, so it is all onto JW. And he's taken an interesting position with the AWP.
That's close enough where he's got a reasonable chance, even if somebody runs past, to take them out.
Turns it into a shotgun here. If he hits the first shot, second guy is definitely going to be some kind of no-scope.
Oh, the timing! He heard the trajectory, and now he's surely done for. There is indeed the shotgun play. He's still got the HP to survive this, and there's no time to defuse the bomb if he stays alive. He might just about have it. It's going to be a close one.
He's probably smacking his keyboard right there because he knows if he just stops at that first pillar when he got out from the van that he could probably dance enough to delay the defuse. And either way, great round, an opportunity to really hurt VP's money with this next round win.
Yeah, it could potentially turn out to be, considering that Snacks goes for a massive buy there, just going for AWP everything. Maybe it does indeed end up being sort of a blessing in disguise if they're able to capitalize. We'll see JW running quickly into the underpass. 2 of his teammates with the bomb moving towards apps. He's making a lot of noise here. Pat's trying to suggest big play in mids, maybe keep the cat player occupied whilst his teammates try to harass in towards the B plateau player, or the B apartments player. There you go. Oh, you'd love to see that. That's actually that's a really smart way to just potentially just get some free damage.
Yep.
Or kills, actually.
Can be dangerous if he's in the smoke, but definitely.
Whose smoke was that anyway? Is
that was Neos.
Ah.
Yeah, so the reason I was able to call that last round is a lot of the protocol for smoking is just when the T's smoke window. You don't really want to use your connector smoke before that, unless you really know that they just did some unique like creep underpass to connector play without the window smoke. But
I think that's Mihu's own smoke again, not the one that just popped, but the one before that. We saw him throw it earlier to create some space to look to the underpass to avoid getting 1v2'd. I've made a note to, I'll put a video up of that. It's a really cool smoke for short players. JW now alone. Looks to hold on to his weapon with 20 seconds left. Or will he? He might be going for damage here. He can advise the team regardless. There's Mihu, still waiting on that short position. It's been fun to watch there. 3 kills for him in that round, Mihu. Looking for the AK, but he can't reach it in time.
Seems like in a VP, maybe they were just a bit bored with Cobblestone in a sense as well, because they're having a much more normal game here, something that we could have expected to see. And now it gets really dangerous because they could snowball Fnatic a little bit. They've got the double orbs, Snacks and Pasha, amazing orb players. Let's just see if it actually makes sense. And we'll have to also see if Fnatic have any sort of response to it themselves. They know that VP are running this setup. So let's have a look at a goosey gander as to whether or not Snacks can pull off this defense. He's got a player on the crates with him as well. Nice flick shots doing more than enough damage. Pasha actually covering as well from the shop, and everyone's dead. So this is really bad for Fnatic. They've not been able to do much damage, if anything, at all in the last couple of rounds. Oh, look at that. Pineapples
so
flying around.
Snacks is like, even when I watch him, like when I stand behind him, I never think of him as like, even Crims or something, like someone super precise sometimes with their aim. Snacks is just like, he just seems like he's like one of the, he's one with the game when he's on point, you know?
Yeah,
it's not necessarily that he's hitting the most insane shots, which he has, like the USB clips on Cobble and like, the crazy clutches he's had. But he's always just seems so aware of player movement.
It reminds me of Flusha. Flusha is like
exactly.
one of those as well.
Flusha, so yeah.
He just understands things that
they have like almost like a twitch in their body sometimes, like they move at the right time, and there's no way they could have known what just happened.
It's like if you just did a scan of their brain, it's like they just have Counter-Strike brain. It's like they've been playing the game for so many years. Yeah. That's what their brain does. It does Counter-Strike.
Yep.
Ooh, some damage there from Golden. And Fnatic have managed to win mid. This has not been something they've been able to do all the time. I like that VP have been contesting it a lot, but relying on those double orbs, VP actually no grenades left, interestingly, and there's over a minute left. Crims finds the timing, and that's a very nice shot onto Bialy. Oh dear, things falling apart for VP.
Crims could have easily taken A there, but he's aware of that on a map like Mirage.
Ooh.
There's already so many spots for the CTs to worry about. Getting that kill and letting the round reset just makes things more confusing from the kind of guessing aspect that VP has to now go through. But obviously in a 2 versus 4, Neo's going to hear everybody. Can he equalize the situation? Backed into a corner. It looks like mostly going to get 1, if anything.
Yeah, that's really tough for Neo. He knows somebody's lurking in mid as well after that previous kill. His body was exposed to the player out of his vision while he was peeking from the stairs. And that's going to be round number 6 for Fnatic. We can see that Virtus.pro will be able to buy anyway, but they most certainly want to hold on to this AWP. And who knows if that's possible. Does Snacks hear Lecro in the apartments? If he stays by the wall, he would at least be hidden from him, but forcing his way forwards, Golden will take him down. So we're moving to a close first half.
We're watching some CS at least this
are.
game, you know?
We are, some Counter-Strikers.
Yeah, do you think it is as simple as VP just being like, yeah, we don't really like playing Cobble right now or something? Like,
you never know too in these online matches. Some other things sometimes get into it. Maybe they didn't get a scrim that day and someone showed up late and they were in a little irritable mood and they had to go straight into the match and then they ended up losing a round in a dumb way and then they just call kind of more lackluster. Like that just happens online to teams, especially a team like VP in the past. And that's what is kind of the caveat of Pro CS sometimes. So.
I guess to an extent that's also with NRG, perhaps you have the opposite effect with a very, very new team where everything is super serious, and perhaps that is why we saw the consistency of them going 13-1 in North American ECS right at the top of leaderboard.
Well, even when we had picked up Automatic first, when we won EPL Pro League, that was kind of the theme in the house. Everything was like fresh and new. We went like 27-1 in Pro League, put one out, and then yeah, you run out of that honeymoon period sometimes.
Yeah. And
you know, got to put in a little bit extra work and effort.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like a relationship. We're start a Dateline right here, talking about the ins and outs of a team. But we're seeing a little bit of the old meta here, combined with a little bit of the new, as JW solo takes connect with an op, as they have one on ladder, and they're going to leave the regroup to come A. So JW here is waiting. If you notice on radar, you could see it. He's doing the same thing. He's looking at his radar while he keeps his heads up with where he's looking, trying to not stay too exposed, but at the same time keep holding an angle for information. And then once the team gets ready to come out ramp, you'll see him be ready to trade as an offer, though maybe not as much. But that kill is going to happen. I wouldn't be surprised. Yep, see JW start to come up now because he knows his team's going to pitch. Even if he dies, at least he's getting information on the site. And worst case, he's there for the trade. So he will get shot. He'll try to stay alive, and the Riflers are able to scale. And now he's able to push up and be part of the mix here.
That was a cool double peek from Fnatic on the ramp position.
Yep. They know JW's already peeking triple, so their awareness of connector and immediately kind of creates a geographic graph in your head of where they could be. So if you know JW's connector, you know they could be deep toll booth, but then you're also not worried about the hiding spot site, so you're clearing close fire in the headshot spot right away, and then you just kind of scale. Sandwich under Balk is the only thing you can't see, and then you just make sure you're holding each other's hand until you breach that choke point.
Nice. Protocols.
Protocols, Dan.
Protocols. Yeah, it's so critical. I mean, I feel like it's such an awesome topic to talk about, but
it's so
never
fun.
Never have enough time on a.
No, we could totally just like ADD away from this whole game.
Oh
situation.
yeah. Well, we can. We'll.
Now, it would have been not a bad round to do it, but VP's decided to make things interesting on the half buy here as Snacks and Pasha pick up a couple of CZ kills. Pasha gets a little over ambitious there and peeks into a long distance bite for an AK, and Flusha drops them down the toilet. It's a 2 versus 2 now, and this is kind of CT side in the sense that the fight happened. They knew where the last two are, so the CTs are able to do exactly what they're doing now, which is push beyond the bomb sites and flank. But Fnatic's smart enough to realize that and just kind of hold still. Watch the extremities. If Fnatic were to make a decision right away to say go up connector, go up cat, they could lend themselves to be in a position where they're planting the bomb and already being approached by the rotation. But now they just held, guessed correctly.
In the 2v2, I sort of took a snapshot in my brain. And I'm like, I really feel like the advantage was with VP.
Yeah, exactly. And Fnatic stood still to say, okay, well, we know you're on kind of a crappy buy, but more than that, we're just going to stand here and watch one angle. And if you walk into a crosshair, you have an advantage.
Some of the dynamics I feel like are in this game. It does feel like it's the dynamics are because Fnatic and VP know each other so well. Like because they've been so good at matching one another's pace in some of these rounds where one team will slow it down like really hard, and the other team will sort of read that and respect it, and it's very interesting, those dynamics. And into the pistol round in the second half, we have a really tight game between these two teams. VP, it looks like they want a slice of A.
There's Flusha in the shadow position.
Oh,
Ooh,
no.
Barley out there on his zone. This has turned into an instant disaster.
They have 4 guys towards A. They throw 2 smokes A. One guy just is playing aggressive mid. They die, and the bomber immediately fall. I don't know. You know, what they're playing for there is the 2 guys retaking A, stairs and spawn. So they had the HEs, the double HEs. And their idea there is they get out ramp. The guy spawn tries to fight him because, you know, the right side of A is smoked off. They nade the guy spawn, and then they're going to assume they're going to fall back and be able to push site. But they die right away, and it doesn't happen. So you can't really blame them for the reaction because their whole strat got destroyed by the fact that there's a guy sandwiched in their balcony. And so their whole plan of pushing was immediately thwarted. And that's kind of the RNG of pistol rounds right there.
Yeah.
That's pretty 50-50 sometimes. If they guess right there, they have the site, they have the plan, it's a fair round. So.
Yeah, and also Fnatic didn't really do sort of like one of the meta pushes that sort of like we saw from VP on the CT side. So it's like, yeah, so many mind games. And very fast with the pistols here from VP into mid. Flusha's spotting it around the smoke on the fence. And Stack's also getting called out. You know, if Fnatic have a good read of the movement of Virtus.pro at the moment. So, you know, it's not really too troublesome for them to deal with all of this.
Uh-oh.
Oh, wow. As I say that, never
Okay
mind.
then.
Never mind.
Say that, the CZ FAMAS comes in. And yeah, and just to comment on the pistol rounds too, it almost seems like some people don't even actually waste too much energy with pistol rounds anymore. They kind of just come up with a good concept. And you see on LAN occasionally, you see the teams really dial in like a, kind of like this like unique, like everyone towards a bomb site, but they kind of hold and watch their flank with like one guy as like a flank watcher, and then if they do hit the flank, they have one hit. And if they don't get spotted and they know the CTs are passive, they kind of go into a more elaborate hit.
Yeah.
And so sometimes you see that, but a lot of times I feel like nowadays it's just like very straightforward because everyone knows, hey, if we guess right and they're not stacking here in a certain way, we're probably going to have a fair chance of winning around.
Glocks.
Glaux.
I got a lot of Glocks.
Big HE coming in from Wexall.
I thought you were trying to be Italian,
Boom.
James.
No, I'm saying Glocks in a weird voice. Nothing more than that.
I got a lot of Glocks.
Nothing more than Glocks here for Virtus.pro.
Glocks and tea.
I don't know where to go with that, Jordan.
Thank you.
Do you have a Glock, James?
I don't have a Glock. We did see, though, a guy in Harlem with a Glock tattooed to the side of his face.
Someone stole
That was interesting. Yeah, he ran very slowly, that.
He was a bit overweight, I think. Chasing the person who stole something.
He was heavy set.
Yeah.
Fluffy?
eFlow has just won 1,000 FACEIT points. Congratulations.
Whoa, what are you buying me? I need some gloves. That's not enough, right?
Get Jordan the gloves.
I don't think it's enough for gloves.
You aware of the common one way? They're trying to establish some mid-control. They know that boost is cat, which tells them there's immediately 2B, which would say Snacks. Well, he's still going to go for it.
I think I'll be feeling confident,
Ooh.
and there's a reason why. Sorry, Snacks feeling confident. What am I talking about?
So I guess they don't know there's 2 cat. I would maybe they assume that boost happened and the guy fell back or something, but regardless, not going to 1v2.
Do you believe?
This is a tough one. You could not only does he have a long distance to travel, he seems unsure of where the lurker is. So this is going to be a case of him probably just trying to do some damage to the economy.
Got the AK now, at least.
The smoke comes in handy, but yeah, it's a tough one there. I would say there, like if Pasha doesn't peek him right there, smoke out the bomb, try to like bait out someone who might think you're closer, and then at that point you're just scouting everything for hoping you see some foot or arm or body peek, and then you have to run up and tap it or just go for the save if you really don't find anything at that point.
11-8.
Still haven't learned that one, have you? That smoke, the running?
No, I don't do jump throw smokes yet. I need to make a bind for it.
Oh, super easy.
For the longest time, I know, but for the longest time I just was like...
Purist?
Yeah, I'm a purist, but at some point, if it's everyone else is using it and it's going to help you win, then you might as well use it as well, you know?
Yeah, I mean, if you
gotta join them.
if you do the minus attack and you're just pressing spacebar and minus attack, it's 2 spacebar and I have spacebar to N. It's clutch.
People use B or something. They use 2 keyboard buttons. I think it's more consistent.
That's what I do, N and spacebar.
Oh, N, okay. I think
Nice.
B is one of my few free keys in my config. I got all sorts of stuff going on. For like training configs, toggles of various things.
You should have like a match time config and then a training config.
Let's have it all in one. Compact like my keyboard, Jordan. Barley with the opening frag towards A. Neo's been picked off. Connector in the meantime. Flutter trying to stay alive. Hard for him to maneuver. Snacks might find him if he keeps backing up. Ooh, and there it is. 2 Fnatic players remain, Lecro and Crims. There goes the short play, leaving Crims on his own. 1 versus 4. We have seen him win these. What will he choose to do? No kiss onto him. Some free fire from me. Some crouching as well. Raising, lowering the angle.
It was on, James.
Seems like they could see each other through the walls.
Yeah.
Conspiracy.
James, who do you have for this? Who do you have for this?
Could not possibly pick that.
Oh.
Looks like it's about to be a tie game, huh? There's a double save coming in? No. How many rounds? Can we get a show score? Okay, yeah, 1 more.
Okay, well, we'll get a B rush from VP. And I like this on the anti-eco. If you go fast, it's pretty good. mean, the worst thing that could possibly happen is there's maybe a stack there, but that's not super common. And it's basically over. So VP are going to be getting themselves onto 10 rounds, and we have a really close game on our hands. I would like to see some double up shenanigans from Fnatic on the CT side, see how that looks, but money is an issue. What was your whole, did you have much of an opinion, Jordan, on the whole Golden thing? Because I like him on the team and what he's done to the team.
What whole Golden thing?
So what tournament was it, James? Where there was like a
where someone almost was gonna replace him or something?
Yeah, he was on the chopping block, and he's about to get pushed out the team.
And then they won.
And then they won this event, yeah. And he seemed to stay, and I couldn't see any benefit for having an exist in his place. I feel like Golden's a better leader for the team.
What did they win? Was it like Cologne or something? Or
I can't remember.
It was a big event, right? Katowice?
I'm blanking. It was a pretty big event. I'm blanking.
Katowice, maybe?
I
think it might have been.
Yeah, we'll go back to that because there is a push coming in from Virtus.pro to the A side. There's a lurker on short. It's Snags who may meet Flusher on short, but Flusher will win that duel. Spots it just in time. That's a big frag from Neo, but they need a lot more than that. Trying to keep the CTs out while they get the bomb down, but deploying the grenades is the last actions Neo will have in this round. Leaving Barney alone, 1 versus 4. He'll be traded immediately.
Yes. It was, wasn't it, Katowice? Yes, because they'd won it 2 years previous, and that was like the last big prize of the team.
They're all stoked to be on stage. I remember all the tweets from like J-Dub and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. And it's crazy how much history is there for Fnatic. Can't even scroll to the results page on the Wikipedia. It's just like 10 essays about their history. It's crazy, insane. Anyway, it is indeed a decent look here for Fnatic. They are going for... Oh, Snack's going to walk this. Sitting in the smoke. Will this... Oh, the flash. There it is. Oh, they double blind. That is so nice for Snacks.
And that'll happen.
Oh my god, that flash. So strong. So strong.
It's so hard to predict, too, the timing. It's such a sensitive subject playing connector. Like, it's so fun for me, but that happened for a couple times, and it's hard because then it's like you have to like turn your head at the right time, but also be aware of cat, and then depending on.
How do you solve it, Jordan? What is the solution?
Well, the solution is just like having a little bit of a read on the team and then a little bit of a guesswork. So like
okay.
The guy by the box seemed to have the head turn, but if you're gonna double connector right there, you have to play anti-flash. But I know early on with Ska there, like he would try to come connector sometimes when we didn't talk about it enough.
Yeah.
And like I just knew something bad was happening. He'd stay there a little bit too long. And he's one of those guys as the opera that I wasn't trying to like tell him how to move in case he saw an opportunity for a pick, and then the smoke would happen. He'd stay there a little long, and the flash would come in, and I'd get blind trying to watch the push from like underpass for him.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, awkwardness. So many things to worry about. What a crazy position is connector on this map, and always has been. Snacks. Ooh, he's gonna get taken down by a lovely Deagle shot placed by Golden. And Crims.
Oh dear.
He's got it in him as well, of course. So
sad. It's like they just get the money back in their favor a little bit, playing against 4 pistols and 1 rifle.
No,
GW.
They should know where both players are based on that, or maybe they think it's the same person. But I think they will read that.
It's gonna be a tough one to win because for JW or Fnatic's a good enough team to where no matter what site they go to, they should be able to kill one of these guys. Unless it's like a perfect guess, like Michu peeks cat right here, kills the guy bench at B, and then they both go A, and one's moving, and they kill the guy triple or something. Yeah, that'd be tough.
There they rotate.
I think Michu's gonna prod. Yep. So let's see if he can see one. If he overextends too much, then it's like pointless. So he'll probably try to fight by these archers and then fall back if he can get a kill.
So it looks like Mihu's gone on a suicide run because it's pretty much too late for Pasha to rotate at this point anyway. So he would have to pull the players away from the A site, but Crims is lurking around. He's made the right play, Pasha, but Crims is slowly creeping on him. Holding the angle now, he backs off, and he's completely exposed. And the numbers game is just too great for Fnatic.
That also reminded me of Cobble right there, where it totally could have worked out, right? Like Snacks walks out. Very common to like catch a guy off guard there, what he did. The guy walks out ramp, like, has an AK, but like they just both get deegged, and you know, definitely could have went a different way that round, but unfortunate to see them play. Like a round like that, you almost want to see like more of a default. So you know you should be able to be confident taking cat or ladder room control. I feel like when you know the team has a bad buy. I haven't seen either of these teams do it this game yet. But what's really cool is when you know you have a lot of money, and you're playing against like a not the best buy, like doing a late round default to the double ladder room mollies, where you get the molly up top ladder and bottom ladder and just fully flush it out, and then take ladder control and boost the guy window. It's pretty sweet.
JW trying to hold down the cat position. We've got the double smokes. We've got the forward grenade, which might tell the T's that it's unlikely that there's a CT there as well. They will re-smoke off the ladder room while Mihu looks for an aggression around the connector position. Not going too far to be exposed to Toll Booth, but making it across eventually. Will he be jumping into the window? He will. JW surely hears this. Can raise the alarm to the jungle player. Didi looks for him. There's Mihu. Not afraid to stand in the middle of nowhere and take him out. Going back to the well immediately. Making some unexpected plays, but they're expected by Neo. He's got the experience.
That kind of felt like JW was like a bit greedy. That looked like a
I mean,
greedy
he
peak,
knows
right?
he could not hide, but maybe that's part of why. You know, like a lot of CS is those like gray area decisions.
Yeah, you can't do this, therefore you can do this.
Everyone just, you know, he knows he was just spotted window, so maybe he's assuming they're going to pull out some nades and try to smoke window, and he can get a quick repeat. You know, there's always a reason.
Right.
In everyone's mind, there's always a reason, right? So.
It's true, much like in all things in life, I suppose.
Yep.
Rationalize everything.
Important to remember, right? Everyone, from someone's perspective, they were justified.
Yeah, it's a big factor in CS. He's seen me there. We both know that I cannot possibly repeat because he's waiting for me. Therefore, he can focus on something else. Therefore, I can actually repeat. Because it's like we have these rules, but I can break these rules to get myself an advantage. Oh, he expects that's possible as well. I am, after all, JW, and now I'm dead.
And I think that factor alone, it's an interesting thing, but people always talk about, you know, I talk to people on a plane about, like, what countries dominate CS, and they're always like, oh, it's Korea and China that dominate the games, right? And I'm like, well, yeah, like, a lot of the more, like, decision-based, like, purely, like, League, Dota, Starcraft, they're so nasty at these games because of their training methods. But you might, it makes me wonder, like, are they just, is it all probability? Are these guys just learning the best probability? Because in CS, it's hard to play that way. And, you know, even in Overwatch, it's less of an FPS in the sense that it's all about like the heroes and how they use their powers and whatnot. Like, you soldier can't just run in and win you a match. But as far as I know, I don't watch too much.
You can if you press Q.
Yeah, Q, exactly. You get buffed by Ana, right? And then you just hold down the trigger. But in CS, is one of those things where you could have the best strat, but depending on how individually you are tuned in to the meta or to the team you're playing in that very moment, you might just make a play that doesn't make sense and it works. And one of the cool factors. And as I end my ramble, this eco round is about to end as well, but Pasha sneaks in and has partial control.
Although the bomb could not be further away almost.
Ooh.
He's still alive. Wants to keep on hold of this AK.
A little economic damage, but a little too late as it is match or tie point for Fnatic.
The only man with a positive scoreline on VP at the moment. And he will eventually go down. Golden will take him out.
Well then, will it be a 2-0 for Fnatic? In today's European proceedings, we are about to find out perhaps, unless versus Crow. Pro, not Crow, no Crows here. Polar Bears though, can pull this round out of the hat. I mean, they're not too far away, only 4 rounds. All must be won, of course. Pash on CZ now, perhaps he can pick up a weapon from a fallen teammate. Should an opportunity arise later on. For the time being, he'll be throwing those grenades in the mid-area. Trying to bait a shot, perhaps. Must be careful, though. CJW sees a trajectory. Interesting grenades. Probably meant to bounce off or something and land in the middle.
It's interesting that it's little wooden...
Well, could be for the boost, actually.
It's like almost like, yeah, look at, he's so aware of it. Oh no. Snacks is like, but I am your master.
He could just unravel this B bomb site. Oh, Snacks coming from the back. He's not to kill JW. He's been spotted now. He's got to go for it. That's insane. JW just turns around. And now Snacks has to go and fight the guy in CT. Oh, man. It looked like he could win the round.
That was a wild, like,
really
moving
unlucky.
peripheral vision.
Yeah.
Guess he's going back in the window. It's like, oh, hello.
Hello.
So yeah, that smoke was simply to allow them to jump into the window. You don't see it very often, but it is a thing. It's a cool smoke, but it wasn't enough, unfortunately, for Virtus.pro. They will lose Mirage as well, but a much better showing, an actual showing from them, as opposed to what we saw in the first match. However, Fnatic, who go from strength to strength, continue to pump those weights and rise up the table.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a much more honest showing from VP. I think, again, we saw lots of really cool dynamics between each team. That's one of the things I enjoyed the most, just seeing how, you know, Fnatic would read the pace of VP, and, you know, seeing VP playing it, you know, a very, very slow round after playing a very, very fast round as well. Just mixing it up at the reads from either side really shows a lot of knowledge. As you were talking about, like, consistently, Jordan, like how you can make decisions based specifically on the, not even the team, but the players that you expect to be playing against in certain positions. And I think I saw some of that here.
Definitely, and you know, it's just another one of those things where the meta is such in flux right now that it almost seems like people are enjoying this like hodgepodge style in a sense that maybe it's just less coordination to be done before the match and more just in the match, and somehow they think it's going to benefit them. You know, you normally see that with the tier 2, tier 3 teams where they'll just be like, oh, we're going to not have an in-game leader and 5 riflers, and we're just be loose and magical and everything's magical. Nice. But you don't normally see that with a team like VP.
I want to play in a magical way. Sounds great.
It's going to be magical, and everyone can do what they want, and we just all get our kills, and we just win all of our duels. And
maybe we will see more magic in the North American portion of the broadcast, which is coming up in an hour and 20 minutes, so you've got time to do something or other, get a game of FACEIT in. I'm most definitely going to, so if you're in the North American region, Mythic and Dust 2 hubs, I'm queuing there in less than 5 minutes. We will see you for North America later on. Ciao for now.